Today, the Amazon rainforest is a realm of unparalleled biodiversity, a vibrant tapestry of life humming with the sounds of countless creatures. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and the calls of hidden animals, while sunlight filters through a cathedral of towering trees. But if we could journey back in time, deep into the epochs before our own, we would find a world even more extraordinary, a realm untouched by human hands, where nature reigned supreme and the land itself seemed alive with possibility. This was a land of giants, where every shadow hinted at something immense and ancient moving just out of sight, a place where rivers carved through landscapes vastly different from today's, and the air echoed with the footfalls of colossal beasts. The ground trembled beneath their weight, and the very earth bore the marks of their passing. The prehistoric Amazon and its surrounding lands were not just a jungle, they were a stage for some of the most magnificent and fearsome animals ever to walk the earth. Here, life thrived in forms both familiar and utterly alien. This ancient world holds secrets buried deep within its soil, waiting for us to uncover them. Each layer of earth is a chapter in a story millions of years in the making. The story of this lost world is written in stone and bone, in the silent testimony of fossils and the silent witness of petrified forests. Every fossil unearthed tells a chapter of an epic saga spanning millions of years, a tale of survival, adaptation, and transformation. From gargantuan serpents that dwarfed anacondas, gliding silently through the undergrowth, to sloths that could look a giraffe in the eye, lumbering through forests of towering ferns and cycads. South America was an evolutionary laboratory, a crucible where isolation and time forged creatures found nowhere else on Earth. It was a continent isolated for long periods, allowing life to flourish in unique and spectacular ways. Here, the flora was as remarkable as the fauna: giant horsetails, towering club mosses, and forests of ancient conifers. The climate shifted, landscapes transformed, and with each change, new titans rose to prominence. Floods, droughts, and volcanic eruptions shaped the destiny of every living thing. Understanding these creatures gives us a profound glimpse into the planet's deep history and the incredible forces that shape life itself. Their bones whisper of vanished worlds and the relentless march of evolution. Imagine a world where the wetlands were not ruled by caimans, but by crocodiles the size of buses, apex predators lurking in the shadows, their jaws capable of crushing bone. A world where mammals with no modern equivalent roamed vast savannas that bordered the ancient forests, their forms both strange and wondrous. These were the true prehistoric giants of the Amazon, each one a marvel of adaptation and survival. They were hunters and hunted, browsers and grazers, locked in an eternal dance of life and death beneath the ancient canopy, each perfectly adapted to its environment, their bodies shaped by the challenges of a world both lush and perilous. Some were evolutionary experiments that ultimately vanished, leaving only traces in the rocks and soil. While others were the ancestors of creatures we might recognize today, their legacy carried forward in the genes of modern animals. Their stories are not just tales of immense size, but of survival, adaptation, and eventual extinction, echoes of a world forever changed. Our journey begins here, as we peel back the layers of time to reveal these extinct wonders, hidden beneath the roots of the living forest. We will meet the mighty predators that commanded the ancient waters, their presence felt in every ripple and current, and the gentle giants that browsed upon the strange flora of a younger world, shaping the very landscape with their appetites. Through the dedicated work of paleontologists, we can reconstruct their appearances, their diets, and their behaviors, breathing life into bones, long silent. We can begin to understand the complex ecosystems they inhabited, the intricate web of life that bound predator to prey, plant to animal, earth to sky. Let us step into this vanished kingdom and stand in the shadows of the prehistoric giants of the Amazon, to marvel at the sheer scale and wonder of life before us, a world where every leaf, every footprint, and every fossil tells a story of a time when giants ruled the earth. During the Pleistocene epoch, a period that ended around 11,000 years ago, South America was home to a truly peculiar mammal. It was called Toxodon platensis. This animal was a testament to the wonders of convergent evolution, where unrelated species developed similar traits. At first glance, you might think you were looking at a bizarre blend of a hippopotamus and a rhinoceros, yet it was related to neither. It was a native South American ungulate, a member of a unique group of hoofed mammals that thrived on the continent for millions of years. Its name, meaning arched tooth, hints at the curved nature of its powerful teeth. The Toxodon was a hefty creature, built for a life of foraging in lush environments. It weighed up to a ton, nearly 2,200 pounds, and measured about 8 feet long from its snout to its tail. Its body was barrel-shaped and low-slung, supported by stout, strong legs. Perhaps its most curious feature was its head. It possessed rodent-like incisors that grew continuously, perfect for gnawing on tough vegetation. Its nostrils were set high on its skull, a feature that has led many scientists to believe it led a semi-aquatic life, much like a modern hippopotamus, spending its days submerged in the wetlands and rivers of the ancient Amazonian landscape. This animal's diet consisted of the abrasive and hardy plants that grew in the mixed environments it called home. It inhabited a mosaic of wet savannas, woodlands, and marshes that were common in the region during its time. Its powerful jaws and ever-growing teeth were perfectly suited for grinding down tough grasses and water plants. The Toxodon was not a swift runner, relying instead on its bulk and perhaps its watery habitat for protection from the formidable predators of the Pleistocene. It was a common sight, a fundamental part of the megafauna that defined prehistoric South America before the great extinctions. One of the most remarkable things about Toxodon is how it represents a path that evolution took only on this continent. It filled an ecological niche similar to that of large grazers and browsers elsewhere in the world, but it did so with a completely different evolutionary toolkit. Charles Darwin himself was one of the first to discover and study Toxodon fossils during his voyage on the HMS Beagle, and he was baffled by the strange creature. He described it as one of the oddest animals ever discovered, a sentiment that paleontologists today can still appreciate as they continue to piece together the life of this wonderful South American giant. Toxodon platensis was not alone in its environment. It shared its habitat with a variety of other prehistoric creatures, creating a dynamic and complex ecosystem. When threatened, Toxodon would use its sheer size and strength to fend off predators, often standing its ground rather than fleeing. Socially, Toxodon platensis likely lived in herds, which provided protection and increased their chances of survival in the harsh Pleistocene environment. Mothers would have been particularly protective of their young, ensuring the next generation could thrive in the ever-changing landscape. Toxodon platensis was highly adaptable, capable of surviving in various seasonal environments, from wet marshes to drier savannas. Modern scientific advancements continue to shed light on the life of Toxodon platensis, revealing more about its behavior, diet, and interactions within its ecosystem. Through these studies, we gain a deeper appreciation for the rich tapestry of life that once thrived in prehistoric South America, with Toxodon platensis standing as a remarkable testament to the diversity and adaptability of life on Earth. When we think of sloths today, we picture the small, slow-moving creatures that hang languidly from trees, blending into the lush canopies of tropical forests. But if we journey back just 10,000 years, the world was home to a sloth of truly colossal proportions, one that roamed the open plains and ancient woodlands of the Americas. This was Eremotherium laurillardi, a giant among giants, and one of the largest ground sloths ever to exist. Unlike its modern relatives, Eremotherium was a terrestrial behemoth, traversing vast stretches of grassland, woodland, and savanna. When it reared up on its powerful hind legs, Eremotherium could reach nearly 20 feet into the air, towering above most other creatures and even rivaling the height of a modern giraffe. Weighing up to 4 short tons, or about 8,800 pounds, this sloth was a true heavyweight of the Pleistocene, sharing its world with other megafauna like mammoths and glyptodonts. Its sheer size and bulk made Eremotherium an awe-inspiring presence, casting a long shadow across the ancient landscapes it called home. Its skeleton was massive and robust, built to support its enormous weight, and it possessed a long, muscular tail that acted as a third leg, providing balance and stability as it stood upright to feed. This unique tripodal stance allowed Eremotherium to reach high into the trees, accessing food sources unavailable to most other herbivores. Its forelimbs were equipped with enormous curved claws, some over a foot long, designed not for combat, but for feeding. These formidable claws were perfect tools for grasping and pulling down heavy branches, allowing the sloth to feast on leaves, shoots, and fruits high above the ground. Eremotherium's diet was rich and varied, consisting of a wide array of plant material, which it consumed in vast quantities each day. To protect its precious claws, Eremotherium walked on the sides of its feet, leaving behind distinctive footprints that can still be found fossilized in ancient sediments. As it moved through its environment, this colossal herbivore acted as a natural landscaper, shaping the forests and savannas by tearing down branches and opening up clearings. Its feeding habits not only altered the vegetation, but also created habitats for countless other species, making Eremotherium a keystone of its ecosystem. Despite its slow, deliberate movements, Eremotherium's immense size offered protection from most predators, allowing it to roam the ancient world with little fear. Its range was vast, stretching from the tropical forests and grasslands of Brazil all the way into the southern reaches of North America, adapting to a variety of environments. Eremotherium was not a solitary wanderer. Evidence suggests it may have lived in loose groups, moving together across the landscape and leaving a lasting impact on the ecosystems they traversed. Despite its formidable appearance, Eremotherium was a gentle giant, peacefully browsing among the ancient flora, its presence both commanding and serene. The story of Eremotherium took a dramatic turn with the arrival of the first humans in South America around 15,000 years ago, marking a new chapter in the history of the continent. The timing of Eremotherium's extinction closely matches the spread of humans, and mounting evidence points to a direct connection between the two events. Archaeologists have uncovered Eremotherium bones bearing cut marks from stone tools, clear signs that these giants were hunted and butchered by early people. For these ancient hunters, bringing down such a massive animal would have been a monumental task, but the reward, an enormous supply of meat, hide, and bone, was equally great. Thus, after surviving countless millennia and dramatic environmental changes, Eremotherium laurillardi may have finally met its end at the hands of a new and highly intelligent predator, leaving behind only fossils and the echoes of its once mighty footsteps across the ancient world. Long before the anaconda became the apex predator of the Amazon's waters, a far more terrifying reptile reigned supreme. This was Purussaurus brasiliensis, a giant caiman that lived during the Miocene epoch, about 8 million years ago. It was, without exaggeration, one of the largest and most powerful predators the planet has ever seen. Fossils unearthed near the Purus River in Brazil reveal a creature of monstrous proportions. An adult Purussaurus could grow to over 39 feet in length, longer than a school bus, and weigh up to 8 short tons, or 16,000 pounds. This ancient crocodilian was a true river tyrant. The sheer scale of Purussaurus is difficult to comprehend. Its skull alone could measure over 5 feet long, a fortress of bone equipped with massive jaws. Biomechanical studies have attempted to calculate the power of its bite, and the results are astonishing. Scientists estimate its bite force could have exceeded 15,500 pounds force, a crushing power even greater than that of the famed Tyrannosaurus rex. This allowed Purussaurus to prey on almost anything it chose. Its teeth were thick and conical, designed not for slicing but for puncturing and crushing the bones of its victims. No creature in its environment was safe. During the Miocene, the western Amazon was not a dense rainforest, but a vast, sprawling wetland system. This was the perfect habitat for an ambush predator like Purussaurus. It would have lurked in the murky waters, its body almost entirely submerged, waiting patiently for prey to come within striking distance. Its diet would have included giant turtles with carapaces several feet across, enormous fish, and any land mammal unfortunate enough to venture too close to the water's edge. With a sudden, explosive burst of speed, it would lunge from the water, its immense jaws closing with catastrophic force, dragging its prey to a watery grave. Purussaurus was a master of stealth. Its hunting method relied on patience and the element of surprise. Remaining motionless for hours, it would blend seamlessly with the tangled vegetation and muddy waters, its nostrils and eyes just above the surface, scanning for the slightest movement. Sensitive to vibrations, it could detect the approach of herds or solitary animals from a great distance. As soon as a target entered its strike zone, Purussaurus would unleash its power in a split second, using its massive tail to propel itself forward. Its jaws, armed with crushing teeth, could shatter the armored shells of turtles and the bones of large mammals with ease. Few animals could survive such an encounter. Once it seized its victim, Purussaurus would drag it beneath the surface, using its immense weight to drown even the largest prey. The struggle would be brief, the outcome inevitable. The existence of such a colossal predator tells us something important about its environment. For an animal as large as Purussaurus to thrive, its ecosystem must have been incredibly productive, teeming with an abundance of equally large prey. Purussaurus sat at the apex of this food web, exerting a powerful influence on the populations of other large animals. Its presence shaped the behavior of herds, forcing them to be ever vigilant near water. Encounters with Purussaurus were a constant threat. Mammals would approach the water with caution, often sending scouts ahead or waiting for the right moment to drink. The mere shadow of the giant caiman was enough to send entire herds fleeing. Even other large crocodilians had to be wary. Purussaurus likely dominated its territory, engaging in fierce displays or even combat to defend its hunting grounds from rivals. The fossil record of the region supports this, showing a diversity of huge mammals, turtles, and other crocodilians. Purussaurus was at the very top of this food web, an undisputed king. Its eventual extinction may have been linked to the dramatic geological changes that saw the rise of the Andes Mountains, which in turn transformed the vast wetlands into the flowing Amazon river system we know today. As the landscape changed, so too did the fate of Purussaurus. The loss of its sprawling wetland home and the decline of giant prey spelled the end for this prehistoric giant, leaving only fossils and legends in the mud of the Amazon. After the cataclysmic extinction of the dinosaurs, the Earth was plunged into the Paleocene epoch, a world transformed by relentless heat and humidity. The air was thick, the forests dense, and the swamps teemed with life, all under a sun that baked the land with unyielding intensity. In this primeval crucible, a new apex predator emerged from the shadows of the swamps in what is now northern Colombia, a creature that would redefine the limits of reptilian power. Titanoboa cerrejonensis, the undisputed giant of all snakes, slithered silently through the undergrowth, its immense form both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The discovery of Titanoboa's fossilized remains in the Cerrejon coal mine stunned scientists. Here, in the heart of a prehistoric treasure trove, they uncovered evidence of a serpent so colossal it seemed almost mythical. Titanoboa stretched an astonishing 43 feet from head to tail, longer than a city bus, and weighed more than a ton, tipping the scales at over 2,200 pounds. To put this in perspective, Titanoboa was longer than a Tyrannosaurus rex and heavier than a full-grown bison, its bulk and length unmatched by any snake before or since. The secret to Titanoboa's monstrous size lay in its environment. The Paleocene tropics were a realm of extremes, where heat and humidity fueled the growth of giants. As a cold-blooded or ectothermic animal, Titanoboa's metabolism and size were dictated by the sweltering climate. The hotter the world, the bigger it could grow. The Paleocene's relentless heat, with average temperatures far above today's, created the perfect conditions for this reptilian behemoth to thrive, conditions that would be impossible in our modern world. 60 million years ago, the Cerrejon region was a vast, steamy river delta, a proto-Amazonia, alive with opportunity and danger, where Titanoboa reigned supreme. Titanoboa was the apex predator of its world, a silent, lethal constrictor that dominated the waterways and forests, feared by all. Unlike today's anacondas or pythons, which hunt mammals and birds, Titanoboa's menu was even more formidable. Its world was filled with giant turtles and primitive crocodilians, armored, powerful creatures that would have been daunting prey for any other predator. Titanoboa was a master of stealth, lying motionless in the murky water, its patterned skin rendering it nearly invisible as it waited for the perfect moment to strike. When a victim wandered too close, Titanoboa would explode from its hiding place with astonishing speed, its jaws clamping down with bone-crushing force. Lacking venom, Titanoboa relied on its immense strength, wrapping its muscular body around its prey and squeezing with such power that even the toughest animals stood no chance. Its constriction was a force of nature, unyielding, relentless, and utterly inescapable. The unearthing of Titanoboa's remains revolutionized our understanding of prehistoric life, revealing a world where reptiles ruled with overwhelming might. Titanoboa's existence not only shattered records for snake size, but also provided a living clue to the climate of the ancient world, showing that only in such heat could such a giant exist. The presence of this enormous ectotherm confirmed that the Paleocene tropics were far hotter than previously believed, reshaping scientific theories about Earth's past. Titanoboa was more than a monster of legend. It was a living thermometer, a biological marvel that helps us unlock the secrets of ancient climates and understand how life adapts to the most extreme environments imaginable. During the Pleistocene, the vast and ever-changing landscapes of South America echoed with the thunderous footsteps of Notiomastodon platensis, a distant cousin of today's elephants and one of the true giants of its age. Picture a herd of these magnificent mastodons, their dense, shaggy coats rippling in the wind as they journeyed across open grasslands and into the shadowy edges of ancient forests. Notiomastodon was not a solitary wanderer. It thrived in close-knit family groups, each led by an experienced bull, with younger males forming bachelor herds on the fringes. These herds were more than just collections of individuals. They were complex societies. The mastodons communicated with deep rumbles and trumpeting calls, coordinating their movements as they migrated in search of food and water. Their migrations were epic, spanning hundreds of miles as the seasons changed, from the open savannas to the lush, unpredictable forests of the Amazon basin. Weighing up to 4 short tons, Notiomastodon stood tall on 4 pillar-like legs, its massive body covered in a thick coat of hair that shielded it from both the chill of the highlands and the dampness of the lowland forests. Its long, gently curved tusks were not just weapons, they were tools for survival. With these impressive tusks, mastodons could push aside tangled undergrowth, strip bark from trees, and dig for roots hidden beneath the soil. Life in the Pleistocene was a constant challenge. Predators like saber-toothed cats lurked in the shadows, and the mastodon's size and strength were its best defense. When threatened, the herd would form a protective circle around the young and vulnerable, trumpeting and brandishing their tusks to ward off danger. For many years, scientists believed that Notiomastodon was limited to open grasslands and savannas, unable to penetrate the dense forests. But recent fossil discoveries deep within the Amazon have rewritten this story. Remains of these giants have been found in areas that were thickly forested even during the Ice Age, revealing that Notiomastodon was far more adaptable than once thought. The prehistoric Amazon was not a uniform sea of trees, but a patchwork of forests, clearings, and wetlands. Notiomastodon herds would move between these habitats, using their strength to shape the land itself. In the forests, they acted as ecosystem engineers, knocking over small trees, clearing underbrush, and dispersing seeds over vast distances. Their movements created open spaces where new plants could grow, maintaining a delicate balance between forest and grassland. The social bonds within a mastodon herd were vital for survival. Older bulls taught the younger members how to find hidden water sources during droughts, and how to navigate the shifting landscape as rivers flooded or dried up. When food was scarce, the herd's collective memory guided them to ancient migration routes, passed down through generations. But even these mighty creatures could not withstand the twin pressures of a rapidly changing climate and the arrival of skilled human hunters. Fossil sites reveal the story of their final days, bones marked by stone tools, evidence of dramatic hunts on the open plains and in the shadowy forests. As the last ice age ended, the world of Notiomastodon changed forever. The disappearance of these giants sent ripples through the ecosystem, allowing the Amazon rainforest to grow denser and more impenetrable, transforming into the green expanse we know today. The legacy of Notiomastodon platensis lives on in the bones unearthed by paleontologists, and in the very shape of the Amazon itself, a reminder of a time when giants roamed, and the land was shaped by their epic journeys and enduring social bonds. Journeying even further back in time, to the Cretaceous period, we encounter a dinosaur that ruled the coastal environments of ancient Brazil. This was Oxalaia quilombensis, the largest carnivorous dinosaur ever identified from Brazilian fossils. It belonged to a family of dinosaurs known as spinosaurids, famous for their crocodile-like features and semi-aquatic lifestyles. Although its fossil record is incomplete, scientists have used fragments of its snout and comparisons with its close relatives like the African Spinosaurus to estimate its incredible size. Oxalaia likely measured between 39 and 46 feet long, making it a truly colossal predator. The most distinctive feature of Oxalaia was its head. It had a long, narrow snout that resembled that of a modern crocodile or gharial, lined with conical, unserrated teeth. These teeth were not designed for tearing flesh from bone, but were perfectly adapted for gripping slippery prey. This strongly suggests that Oxalaia was a specialized fish-eater or piscivore. Its snout was also dotted with sensory openings, which likely housed pressure receptors. This would have allowed it to detect the vibrations of fish and other aquatic animals moving in the water, even in murky conditions, making it a highly effective and precise hunter in its watery domain. Oxalaia lived about 95 million years ago in what is now the northeastern coast of Brazil. At that time, the environment was not a rainforest, but a lush coastal delta with mangrove-like vegetation. It was a world of brackish water, rivers and lagoons, teeming with large fish, turtles, and other aquatic life. Oxalaia was perfectly suited to this habitat. It would have spent much of its time in or near the water, using its powerful limbs to wade through the shallows and its specialized snout to snatch fish. It may have also possessed the signature sail-like structure on its back, characteristic of its cousin Spinosaurus, which could have been used for display or thermoregulation. The name of this dinosaur, Oxalaia quilombensis, carries a special cultural significance. The species name quilombensis honors the quilombola communities of the region where its fossils were found. These are modern communities founded by escaped slaves, and this naming pays tribute to their history and resilience. The genus name, Oxalaia, refers to Oxala, a deity in the Afro-Brazilian Yoruba religion. Thus, this magnificent Cretaceous giant not only expands our knowledge of the prehistoric world, but also connects the deep past of the land with the rich cultural heritage of the people who live there today. Among the bizarre and wonderful mammals of Pleistocene South America, few were stranger than Macrauchenia patachonica. This animal, which lived until about 10,000 years ago, looked like a creature assembled from spare parts. It had a body somewhat like a camel's, with long, sturdy legs and a neck of moderate length. Its feet were more like a rhinoceros's, with 3 toes, but its most perplexing feature was its skull. The nasal opening was not at the front of its snout, but at the very top of its head, between its eyes. This unique placement has long puzzled scientists, and suggests it possessed a short, fleshy trunk similar to that of a modern tapir. For decades, the evolutionary origins of Macrauchenia were a profound mystery. It had no clear relatives among living mammals. It was Charles Darwin who first collected its fossils, and he was as mystified as everyone who followed. The puzzle was only solved recently, thanks to the incredible power of ancient DNA analysis. Scientists were able to extract genetic material from its fossils, and the results were astonishing. They revealed that Macrauchenia's closest living relatives are the perissodactyls, the group of odd-toed ungulates that includes horses, rhinoceroses, and tapirs. It was the last survivor of a uniquely South American branch of this ancient lineage. Macrauchenia was an inhabitant of the open plains and drier savannas that were widespread across South America during the last glacial period. These landscapes even extended into areas that are now part of the dense Amazon rainforest. Its long legs would have made it a capable runner, able to cover large distances in search of food and to escape from formidable predators like the saber-toothed cat Smilodon. Its flexible trunk would have been a versatile tool, allowing it to grasp leaves and twigs from bushes and trees, supplementing a diet that likely also included grasses. It was a successful and adaptable herbivore. The unique anatomy of Macrauchenia highlights the incredible evolutionary experiments that took place on the isolated continent of South America. For millions of years, mammals there evolved in directions seen nowhere else on Earth. The strange, trunked Macrauchenia was one of the final and most spectacular products of this long history. Like so many other megafauna, its extinction coincided with the end of the Pleistocene, a time of dramatic climate change and the arrival of human hunters. Its disappearance marked the end of an entire order of mammals, closing a fascinating chapter in the story of life on our planet. In its daily life, Macrauchenia likely lived in herds, grazing peacefully on the open plains, with young ones playing and learning from the adults. Water sources would have been vital gathering spots where these animals could drink and engage in social behaviors. Macrauchenia shared its habitat with a variety of other prehistoric animals, creating a dynamic and interdependent ecosystem. When faced with predators, the herd would have displayed defensive behaviors, with adults protecting the young and vulnerable members. Throughout the changing seasons, Macrauchenia demonstrated remarkable resilience, adapting to the varying conditions of its environment. Whether in lush green landscapes or arid savannas, Macrauchenia thrived, a true symbol of prehistoric adaptability and survival. The stories of these prehistoric giants, from the river tyrant Purussaurus to the towering sloth Eremotherium, paint a picture of a South America that is almost beyond our imagination. The ancient Amazon and its surrounding lands were a crucible of evolution, a stage where life grew to colossal sizes and took on strange and wonderful forms. These creatures were not monsters from a fantasy tale. They were real animals that breathed, ate, and fought for survival in ecosystems as complex and vibrant as any that exist today. Their fossils are the echoes of that lost world, a legacy written in stone that we are only just beginning to decipher. Each bone, fragment, and tooth tells us something vital about the deep history of our planet. The size of Titanoboa informs us about ancient global temperatures, while the presence of Notiomastodon in the Amazon basin reshapes our understanding of prehistoric landscapes. These discoveries remind us that the world is in a constant state of flux. The environments we see today are not permanent. Climates shift, continents drift, and mountains rise, and with every change, life must adapt or vanish. The giants of the past are a powerful testament to the relentless and creative forces of evolution. The extinction of many of these magnificent beasts, particularly the Pleistocene megafauna like Macrauchenia and Eremotherium, holds a poignant lesson. Their disappearance, coinciding with the arrival of our own species, underscores the profound impact that humans can have on the natural world. We were, perhaps, the final challenge that these giants could not overcome. As we confront our own environmental challenges today, the story of their demise serves as a somber reminder of the fragility of even the most formidable creatures and the ecosystems they depend upon. The Amazon's past giants are gone, and their absence shaped the world we inherited. Yet the wonder of discovery continues. Paleontologists are still digging, and with each new find, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. There are surely more giants waiting to be unearthed, more secrets to be revealed from beneath the soil of the Amazon and beyond. These ancient animals may be long extinct, but they are far from forgotten. They live on in the fossil record, in our museums, and in our curiosity. They fuel our desire to understand the history of life on Earth and inspire us to protect the biodiversity that remains. But their legacy is more than just bones and stone. It is a profound reminder of the interconnectedness of all life, past and present. The rise and fall of these giants shape the very fabric of the Amazon, influencing the evolution of plants, animals, and even the landscape itself. Their extinction left gaps in the ecosystem, altering the course of evolution and paving the way for new forms of life to emerge. As we walk through the forests of the Amazon today, we tread upon the shadows of these ancient titans. Their presence lingers in the soil, in the rivers, and in the very air, a silent testament to the power of nature and the passage of time. Their story is a call to humility, a reminder that no creature, no matter how mighty, is immune to change. The echoes of these giants call to us from across the millennia, reminding us of the incredible, ever-changing story of our living planet. Their legacy endures, urging us to learn from the past, cherish the present, and safeguard the future of the Amazon and all its inhabitants. Gap 3s. While the colossal vertebrates of prehistoric Amazon are awe-inspiring, the ecosystem was also home to another set of giants, ones that crawled, flew, and buzzed through the dense underbrush and towering canopies. These were the insect titans, creatures that, despite their smaller size relative to their vertebrate counterparts, played a crucial and fascinating role in the prehistoric landscape. Imagine dragonflies with wingspans of nearly 2 feet, flitting through the humid air like miniature helicopters. These were the Meganeura, ancient relatives of modern dragonflies, and they were formidable aerial predators. Their large eyes and powerful jaws made them the apex predators of the insect world, feasting on other insects and even small vertebrates. Equally impressive were the giant millipedes, such as Arthropleura. Reaching lengths of up to 8 feet, these massive arthropods slithered through the undergrowth, feeding on decaying plant matter and contributing to the nutrient cycle of the forest floor. Their armored bodies provided protection against predators, while their numerous legs allowed them to navigate the dense foliage with ease. In the air, giant bees and butterflies played essential roles in pollination, ensuring the propagation of the lush flora that defined the prehistoric Amazon. These insects were not only vital for the reproduction of plants, but also served as food sources for other creatures, creating a web of interdependence that sustained the entire ecosystem. One of the most fascinating inhabitants of this ancient world was the Titanoboa, a genus of giant ants. With queens that could reach lengths of nearly 2 inches, these ants formed large colonies that dominated the forest floor. Their complex social structures and cooperative behaviors allowed them to thrive in the competitive environment of the prehistoric Amazon. These giant insects were not just relics of a bygone era. They were integral to the functioning of their ecosystems. Their activities influenced soil composition, plant growth, and the distribution of other animal species. They were the engineers of their world, shaping the environment in ways that would have lasting impacts on the evolution of life in the Amazon. The reasons for the gigantism of these insects are tied to the higher oxygen levels of the prehistoric atmosphere. With more oxygen available, insects were able to grow larger, and their respiratory systems could support their increased size. However, as the climate and atmospheric conditions changed, these giants gradually disappeared, giving way to the smaller, more familiar insects we know today. Gap 3s. The story of the insect titans is a reminder of the incredible diversity and adaptability of life. It shows us that even the smallest creatures can have a profound impact on their environment. As we study these ancient insects, we gain insights into the complex interplay of factors that drive evolution and shape ecosystems. The legacy of these giant insects lives on in the fossil record, providing a window into a world where everything, from the smallest ant to the largest dragonfly, played a vital role in the intricate dance of life. Their story is a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of nature, and it reminds us of the hidden wonders that still await discovery beneath the canopy of the Amazon. As we continue to explore and understand this ancient world, we are reminded of the delicate balance that sustains life on our planet. The giant insects of the prehistoric Amazon may be gone, but their influence endures, echoing through the ages as a symbol of the interconnectedness of all living things. Their story, like that of the vertebrate giants, is a call to appreciate the marvels of our natural world and to strive to protect the delicate ecosystems that support life in all its forms. The insect titans may have vanished, but their legacy continues to inspire and inform our understanding of the past, present, and future of the Amazon rainforest. Beneath the murky waters of prehistoric Amazon rivers, another class of giants thrived. Massive fish whose size and adaptations rivaled even the most formidable land and air dwellers. These aquatic titans patrolled ancient waterways, shaping the ecosystem from the depths. One of the most impressive was the ancient Arapaima, an ancestor of today's giant river fish. Reaching lengths of over 15 feet, these colossal predators navigated the slow-moving rivers with powerful, streamlined bodies. Their armored scales acted as natural shields, protecting them from the bites of massive crocodilians like Purussaurus. Arapaima's ability to gulp air from the surface allowed them to survive in low-oxygen waters, a crucial adaptation in the ever-changing prehistoric floodplains. Alongside them swam the formidable Fractocephalus, or giant red-tailed catfish. Weighing hundreds of pounds and boasting broad flat heads, these predators were opportunistic feeders, consuming anything from smaller fish to amphibians and even carrion. Their sensitive whiskers detected vibrations in the muddy water, making them expert hunters even in near-total darkness. Prehistoric lungfish such as Lepidosiren added another layer to this underwater world. Capable of surviving dry seasons by burrowing into the mud and breathing air, they were masters of adaptation, enduring the unpredictable cycles of flood and drought that defined the Amazon basin. The rivers also hosted ancient relatives of the piranha, much larger and more powerful than their modern descendants. These mega-piranhas, with jaws capable of crushing bone, likely hunted in groups preying on fish, reptiles, and even unwary terrestrial animals that ventured too close to the water's edge. Interactions among these giants were complex and dynamic. Massive arapaimas and catfish competed for territory and food, while the presence of apex predators like Purussaurus kept populations in check. Seasonal floods transformed the landscape, creating temporary lakes and new channels, forcing fish to migrate and adapt constantly. The adaptations of these prehistoric fish, air-breathing organs, armored bodies, and specialized hunting strategies were responses to a world in flux. Their evolutionary innovations not only ensured their survival, but also influenced the development of the entire river ecosystem, from the smallest crustaceans to the largest reptiles. Today, their fossilized remains tell us stories of a vibrant, teeming world beneath the ancient Amazon's surface, a world where fish were not just part of the food chain, but true giants in their own right, shaping the destiny of the rainforest from below. Above the dense canopy of the prehistoric Amazon, the skies were ruled by a different kind of giant, massive birds that soared through the humid air, casting shadows over the ancient landscape. These avian titans played a crucial role in shaping the ecosystem, their behaviors and adaptations as striking as their size. One of the most impressive of these sky titans was Argentavis magnificens, a bird so large that its wingspan rivaled that of small airplanes. With wings stretching over 20 feet, Argentavis was a master of the air. Using thermal updrafts, it could glide effortlessly for hours, scanning the ground below for potential prey. Its keen eyesight was unparalleled, capable of spotting even the slightest movement from high above. Argentavis primarily hunted small to medium-sized animals, swooping down with incredible speed and precision to snatch up its next meal. Sharing the skies with Argentavis was the fearsome Cerrejonensis, another giant bird known for its powerful flight and predatory prowess. Cerrejonensis had a wingspan of around 12 feet and was an opportunistic feeder. It scavenged carrion and hunted live prey, including fish, small mammals, and even other birds. Its beak was adapted for tearing flesh, and its strong talons could grasp and immobilize struggling prey with ease. Not all prehistoric Amazonian birds were hunters. Some, like the giant flightless bird Brontornis, were more akin to the terrestrial titans of the land. Standing nearly 10 feet tall, Brontornis was a formidable herbivore. Its powerful legs allowed it to move swiftly through the underbrush, while its large beak was perfect for stripping leaves and branches from trees. Brontornis played a vital role in maintaining the balance of the forest, its feeding habits helping to shape the vegetation and promote new growth. The prehistoric Amazon also hosted a variety of giant waterfowl. Among them was the massive Dromornis, a bird that thrived in the wetlands and riverbanks. Standing over 8 feet tall and weighing several hundred pounds, Dromornis was a herbivore that fed on aquatic plants and small animals. Its presence in the wetlands helped to control plant growth and maintain the health of the aquatic ecosystems. The interactions among these giant birds and their environment were complex and dynamic. Predatory birds like Argentavis and Cerrejonensis kept the populations of smaller animals in check, while herbivorous giants like Brontornis and Dromornis influenced the distribution and abundance of vegetation. Seasonal changes brought challenges and opportunities, forcing these avian titans to adapt constantly. The fossilized remains of these giant birds tell us stories of a vibrant and interconnected world. Their evolutionary adaptations, powerful wings, keen eyesight, and specialized feeding strategies were responses to the challenges of their environment. These sky titans not only survived but thrived, leaving a lasting legacy in the prehistoric Amazon's ecosystem. Today, we can only imagine the awe-inspiring sight of these giant birds soaring above the ancient rainforest, their presence a testament to the incredible diversity and adaptability of life in the prehistoric Amazon. Beneath the towering trees and amidst the tangled roots of the prehistoric Amazon, a world of shadows teemed with life. Here, in the dappled light of the forest floor, lesser-known reptiles carved out their own destinies, masters of stealth, adaptation, and survival. Meet Pristiguana brasiliensis, a distant cousin of modern iguanas. Unlike its tree-dwelling relatives, Pristiguana was a ground specialist. Its body was low-slung and muscular, with sturdy legs perfect for darting between leaf litter and fallen logs. Camouflage was its greatest weapon. Its mottled skin blended seamlessly with the forest floor, making it nearly invisible to predators and prey alike. Prehistoric was an omnivore, feasting on everything from insects and fruit to small vertebrates. Its keen sense of smell and rapid reflexes gave it an edge in the bustling undergrowth, where danger was always just a shadow away. Nearby, lurking in shallow streams, was Paradracaena colombiana, a prehistoric relative of the modern caiman lizard. Paradracaena's jaws were lined with powerful, crushing teeth, perfect for cracking open the armored shells of ancient snails and crustaceans. Its semi-aquatic lifestyle allowed it to slip silently into water at the first sign of trouble, vanishing from sight in an instant. With a tail designed for both swimming and defense, Paradracaena could launch itself through water or whip away threats on land. Its webbed feet gave it a surprising speed, making it a formidable hunter in both worlds. In the tangled vines above, the agile Iguanognathus amazonicus made its home. This small but remarkable reptile could glide from tree to tree, using flaps of skin stretched between its limbs. Iguanognathus was an insect specialist, its sharp eyesight and nimble claws perfect for snatching prey from the bark and leaves. When threatened, it would flatten its body and freeze, becoming nearly indistinguishable from the branches it called home. Perhaps the most enigmatic of all was the armored Paleosaniwa brasiliensis. Resembling a cross between a monitor lizard and a crocodile, Paleosaniwa was a stealthy ambush predator. Its tough, bony scales protected it from attacks, while its powerful jaws could deliver a crushing bite. Unlike many of its contemporaries, Paleosaniwa was a patient hunter, lying motionless for hours before striking at unsuspecting prey. Each of these reptiles developed unique strategies to survive in the prehistoric Amazon's ever-changing environment. Camouflage, speed, armor, and agility, these were the tools that allowed them to thrive in the shadows. Though their names may be lost to time, their fossils offer tantalizing clues to the incredible diversity that once flourished under the ancient canopy. In the hidden corners of the prehistoric Amazon, these lesser-known reptiles played vital roles in the ecosystem, balancing prey populations, dispersing seeds, and shaping the very fabric of life. Their legacy endures, a testament to the power of adaptation and the endless possibilities of evolution. As we leave the shadows of the underbrush behind, it's time to unravel the story of the land itself, a tale written in stone, soil, and sky. The prehistoric Amazon was never a static paradise. Its climate and geology were in constant flux, shaping the destinies of every creature that called it home. Millions of years ago, the Amazon basin was a vast inland sea, its waters teeming with ancient fish and marine reptiles. Over time, powerful tectonic forces began to reshape the continent. The slow but relentless rise of the Andes Mountains to the west forever altered the region's fate. Rivers changed course, draining the inland seas and giving birth to the mighty Amazon River. This shifting landscape created a mosaic of habitats, sprawling floodplains, dense forests, and winding waterways. Seasonal rains would swell the rivers, inundating vast tracts of land, while drier periods left behind isolated lakes and patches of forest. The result was a dynamic environment where only the most adaptable could thrive. The climate, too, was ever-changing. Periods of warmth and humidity would blanket the basin in lush, tangled vegetation, supporting an explosion of life. But these green ages were punctuated by cooler, drier spells, times when forests retreated and open grasslands took their place. These cycles of boom and bust drove the evolution of the Amazon's giants. Toxodon and Macrauchenia, for example, developed sturdy bodies and broad teeth, perfect for grazing on tough, fibrous plants during lean times. Prehistoric crocodilians like Purussaurus evolved immense size and crushing jaws to dominate the waterways, where prey could be scarce during dry seasons. Meanwhile, the ever-changing floodplains encouraged the rise of aquatic and semi-aquatic giants, fish like the mighty Arapaima and armored turtles, each uniquely suited to life in water that could vanish or appear with the rains. Even the colossal Titanoboa was a product of its warm, swampy world, thriving in the steamy, oxygen-rich air of the Paleocene. Yet these giants were not alone in their struggle. Environmental upheaval forced countless species to adapt or disappear. Some developed armor, others speed or camouflage. For every survivor, there were many that vanished, their bones buried beneath layers of silt and sand. Today, the legacy of these ancient upheavals is written across the Amazon's landscape. Fossil beds reveal the ghosts of vanished worlds, while the living forest still echoes with the lessons of adaptation and resilience. The story of the prehistoric Amazon is not just one of giants, but of a world in motion, a place where climate and geology were the true architects of life. From ancient seas to tangled forests, the ever-shifting land shaped the rise and fall of the Amazon's most remarkable creatures. It is a reminder that in nature, change is both a challenge and a source of endless possibility. But even the most resilient giants could not withstand all the forces arrayed against them. The prehistoric Amazon was shaped not only by gradual change, but also by sudden, catastrophic events, extinction waves that swept through the land, leaving devastation and transformation in their wake. Throughout its deep history, the Amazon basin bore witness to several extinction events, each with its own causes and consequences. Some were global in scale, triggered far beyond the rainforest's leafy boundaries. Others were regional, the result of shifting climates, volcanic eruptions, or the relentless rise and fall of sea levels. One of the earliest and most profound extinction events was the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum, around 56 million years ago. During this time, global temperatures soared, dramatically altering rainfall patterns and oxygen levels. Swamps shrank, forests withered, and many aquatic giants, like the colossal Titanoboa, lost the habitats that once nurtured them. As the climate cooled again, these once thriving species vanished, leaving behind only bones and imprints in stone. Millions of years later, the uplift of the Andes brought new upheaval. As mountains rose and rivers changed course, ancient lakes dried up, and entire ecosystems fragmented. Aquatic and semi-aquatic creatures faced new challenges as their watery homes disappeared. Some, like the mighty Purussaurus, disappeared from the fossil record, unable to adapt to the changing world. But perhaps the most dramatic extinction event came at the end of the Pleistocene, around 12,000 years ago. As the last ice age drew to a close, the Amazon's climate shifted once more. Cooler, drier conditions gave way to a warmer, wetter world, but not before a wave of extinctions swept across South America. The reasons remain a subject of scientific debate. Rapid climate change, shifting vegetation, and the arrival of new predators, including early humans, may have all played a role. Whatever the cause, the impact was profound. The great megafauna, Notiomastodon, Macrauchenia, and the giant ground sloth Eremotherium, vanished. Their disappearance echoed through the ecosystem. Predators lost prey. Forests once trampled and grazed by giants began to change in composition and density. Even the rivers felt the effects, as the loss of large animals altered nutrient cycles and plant growth. Yet, extinction is not only an end, it's also a beginning. In the wake of each wave, the Amazon reinvented itself. New species emerged, ecosystems rebalanced, and life found a way to thrive once more. Today's Amazon is a living testament to this cycle of loss and renewal, shaped as much by catastrophe as by creation. In every fossil bed and in the tangled roots of the modern forest, the legacy of extinction endures. It is a story of resilience, adaptation, and the ever-present possibility of rebirth, a reminder that the Amazon's greatest lesson may be its ability to endure, transform, and flourish in the face of unimaginable change. Beneath the dense canopy of the modern Amazon, the secrets of its ancient past lie hidden, locked in layers of stone, silt, and clay. Over the years, a handful of intrepid fossil hunters have braved the sweltering heat, unpredictable floods and dense undergrowth to reveal the lost giants of prehistory. Their discoveries have transformed our understanding of the Amazon's distant world. One of the most groundbreaking finds emerged in the Cerrejon coal mines of Colombia. Here, in the early 2000s, paleontologist Dr. Jonathan Bloch and his team uncovered the vertebrae and skull fragments of a serpent unlike any other. This was Titanoboa cerrejonensis, the largest snake ever known, stretching nearly 42 feet long. The discovery sent shockwaves through the scientific community, revealing not only the size of this prehistoric predator, but also the steamy, swamp-like climate that once dominated the region. In the Brazilian Amazon, the banks of the Acre River yielded another treasure trove. Fossilized remains of Purussaurus brasiliensis, a crocodilian titan, were first described in the mid-19th century by Swiss naturalist Louis Agassiz. Later expeditions by Brazilian paleontologist Dr. Paulo Vanzolini and his colleagues brought to light more complete skulls and armor plates, painting a vivid picture of this 8-meter-long apex predator. Not all discoveries were so dramatic at first glance. In the late 19th century, Argentine paleontologist Florentino Ameghino meticulously catalogued the bones of Toxodon and Macrauchenia, strange mammals whose fossils surfaced in riverbanks and eroded bluffs. Ameghino's detailed observations, combined with later studies by Dr. Alfredo Castellanos, revealed that these mammals once roamed vast grasslands and forests that predated the modern Amazon. Each fossil tells a story of vanished worlds and evolutionary experiments. The enormous limb bones of Eremotherium, found in the caves of Bahia by Dr. Carlos de Paula Couto, hint at sloths so massive they shape the very landscape. The teeth and jaws of Oxalaia quilombensis, unearthed on the island of Cajual by Dr. Alexander Kellner, suggest a distant cousin of the infamous Spinosaurus, stalking the delta's ancient waterways. Through painstaking field work, careful excavation, and tireless study, these scientists have pieced together the Amazon's lost chapters. Their discoveries reveal a region shaped by giants, swept by cataclysm, and reborn in endless cycles of change. Yet, the story is far from complete. New fossils continue to surface, each find raising new questions and sparking new quests. Deep in the shadowy forests and muddy riverbeds, the Amazon guards its secrets still, waiting for the next generation of fossil hunters to unearth what lies beneath. In every fossil fragment, there is a clue, a whisper of the world that was, and the ever-evolving wilderness that is. The hunt for the Amazon's ancient past continues, one discovery at a time.